myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar thing, try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end, and you can have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you hurt. Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse. As always, my boy, AC in the house.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here, man.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for playing that, man. So there is a real reason why we started off with that as a cover that will become apparent later on in the show. We're going to share some of our writing tonight. That's in the works, in the deck for tonight. Margaret Bernard, thanks for coming by. Happy Friday. Margaret Bernard is an author. Oh, yeah. So Margaret, I think even more excited for my content since we're taking part in NaNoWriMo. Even though we're not taking part in NaNoWriMo proper, I'm telling you guys out there, I don't want to hear any crap. I know you're supposed to write a novel within the month of November. We're not doing that, but I am taking part in the community. We are in fostering a writing kind of feel. So I'm doing reading sprints on Wednesdays. That's our time when we usually game plan writing and stuff like that. We're going to do reading sprints on the channel, maybe every Wednesday. Maybe I'll do some more just on myself. But Ryan or AC will be with me during that for that, and maybe showcase Ryan later on with his writing as well. But we'll get a taste tonight.
Now, let's see. And also for anyone that is kind of wondering about the Ryan/AC thing. That will also become a little bit more apparent as the show goes on.
Many things will be revealed tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Writing is on the docket, and we have a lot of writers in the community. Tyler, the Falcon, hell yeah, Johnny Cash's cover is no longer the best. I don't know about that, but I appreciate the sentiment. And
actually, I'm curious. I mean, I don't know of newer covers, which makes me out of the loop and kind of sad. So if you let us know in the comments, who you're speaking of, I'd love to check it out.
Yeah, well, 9 Inch Nails covered it, of course, right?
No, that was their original. That was Trent Reznor, I thought, that wrote it. So it is 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah,
so.
and Cash has covered it. He's saying we covered it better than Cash.
Oh,
which of course is a fallacy.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Ryan couldn't even wrap his head around that.
This is me slow on the uptake. And not only that, also that was a total kind of reveal of my insecurity of myself, I think.
So Tyler's a writer. The Falcon here, he's my boy. So nice. Tyler's a writer. He's taking part in NaNoWriMo. I think proper. He's writing a novel in November. Nice. What a crazy undertaking. John Saxton, Get No for Life, is in the house. Thanks for coming by, bro. Thank you always. Nick Vorro's in the house. Happy Friday. That's what I'm talking about, man. And of course, Emily is in this house, but also in the house of our live and hanging out.
Always glad to have the support.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Allison McFarland, happy Friday. Thanks for coming by. First time I've seen you comment on the channel.
That's my girl there, Allie, out there in AZ. So
is that Allison? Nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. Allie, thanks for coming by. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
That's we're gonna share some cool writings tonight. No Saturday morning sing along. You can sing along if you want.
Heck yeah.
We don't have to worry. We don't even have to hear it. And look, Teeny Tiny in the house. Teeny Tiny is
I remember Teeny Tiny.
And my only member.
And she was in the sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was. And she gets absolutely nothing for being a member of this channel. I don't offer anything. Yet.
Okay.
Hey, is this a teaser? Did we just come up with another idea? My boy Ryan here is an idea machine. It's crazy. 9 Inch Nails, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Sylvia, Celia. Sorry to say mispronounce it every time I try to say your name. Celia's in Norway.
Nice.
Hi. Happy Friday. Probably Saturday for her by now, or something like this.
Thanks, Norway.
But what an awesome channel she's got. Okay, cool. So we've said hey to everybody. We're there. I'm I'm like y'all. I wouldn't count myself as a proper NaNoWriMoer because I'm going in with 116 pages already.
There you go.
Just unofficial, I guess. You know what? I support it. I support it. We're writers. We're going to write. And wherever you are, use it as motivation to get you where you want to be.
Well, and he can also tell you, you know, one of the things that I'm currently working on, and I revealed during the writer sprint that I'm a little bit of a stream of consciousness writer.
Right.
So I unloaded on him the about 160 pages, 50,000 words I have for this book, Sylvia. And he just looked at it like, what is going on here? Because it's a mess. It's just like paragraphs are all over the place. It's just nothing's organized. And so it's like, I understand. So when you say that you're starting off with that, that's a monster to go back and edit and then organize. And then also, you know, there's always ideas that you want to more suss out.
Right.
So,
and wherever you are in your writing, it's okay. Like, you know, if you have a story that you'd rather work on, I want to say, because I love this part of writing, what I've come to get into with my short story, maybe we'll share it a little bit later. Sorry, maybe we'll share it a little bit later. But what I want to, you know, with touching on this story, man, I wrote this story a year or a year and a half after that. I rewrote this story. Then it sat for like 15 or more years. And now I'm revisiting it, and I have like a relationship with these characters, and like there's a story underneath there that hasn't been told yet. And what I'm doing now, just really, it is pulling out that storyteller side, where I feel like, okay, I have enough knowledge of who this character is, even though, you know, I spend maybe an hour with this character, right? But now I really know what he's going through in his life, and can tell his story in a way that I never could have before. Now is the only way that I could tell the story the way that I'm doing it now.
You know, that's very apropos with actually, and Allie can probably attest to this, because she's one of the first people that saw, and actually the name of the story currently is Sylvia. Nice. And so it goes in like only about 2 or 3 pages of exposition, and then jumps straight into madness.
and he's not you know, he's not downplaying it.
No. And also, well, before let me go ahead and say here also with that when I went back during this time and started rewriting it, I was realizing, I'm like, with the pacing, you know, the character, it's like I didn't have enough relationship built. It did not give the reader enough opportunity to care about the characters in the scene. Therefore, the brutality of the next scene would almost wash over everyone, I think. So it's you know, considerations like that I think all writers are making when they're doing the rewriting, not to mention, you know, just figuring out organization and things like that. Right. Now, that being said, something that I know we wanted to bring out to y'all is what we're sharing tonight is not by any stretch of the imagination tame.
Right. We want to make sure that at least, especially with Ryan's stories, the first part that he's going to share is going to give you a good framing for that kind of thing. And we are writing for adults. We write adult stories for adults, and this is for even our, and we'll get into this more too, even our own growth and the growth of people that we care about, which in the final analysis is any other. Okay. So it's real, and it's you know, sometimes hardcore. It's sometimes harsh. Life is hard. It's not you know, we're not here just getting presents and Yeah.
Milk
Everything
and
being
cookies
great.
every day.
Everything being great, right? John Saxon says he loves your hat.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It's a nice hat. Ryan
Yeah.
was looking extra dapper today, so I threw on my Super Mario Brothers hat, and I don't need Google because my daughter knows everything, which even has another aspect of humor to it now that I'm a Mac user. I'm doing got a crazy tech upgrade over the last 2 weeks, starting this new job, and jumped into the universe. And
a little
my Google Pixel 6 is struggling to even make communication with these guys. And so I'm like, well, I don't need Google because my daughter already knows everything.
There you go. Well, add your wife in there.
Let's see.
I mean, yeah, that's the universal.
Right, there
knowledge.
you go. If you write 50,000 or more words, it counts as good. So that's might be a NaNoWriMo thing that it is that you're looking for 50,000 words, not exactly a completed novel.
I've always heard 50,000 to 100,000.
And see, Margaret, a NaNoWriMo enthusiast, the way that some people are, like Margaret here, she's written 4 books from NaNoWriMo efforts.
Wow, nice, Margaret.
Boom.
That's
freaking insane. Boom. Check out her channel if you want. If you want, there's Magoo.
Magoo
in the house.
Magoo, man.
Magoo, how's the ticker?
Yeah, hey, get that going, man.
You got to get the ticker right, man. Don't be playing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hey, Jim Brewer told you.
You move it more toward my way. I want to get you more in the front.
Oh, thanks.
Just man. For that, yeah. Because we gotta all this Ryan or all this AC baby.
Oh yeah,
I love it. Okay, so I was looking at, I always relate to writing in my favorite book about writing, which is Stephen King's On Writing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, where he says writing is telepathy. It's communication over time and space. Right then he can communicate and it will be received at a later time and space, right? And in esoteric language, it is a kind of verbal alchemy, our writing and stuff. So I received this book earlier and I wanted to show it because it's beautiful. It's an art book. And Etheric Circle on Instagram, I'll shout them out. I'll put them in the description box later on. Etheric Circle is who provided this for me. And it's just wonderful art. But alchemy is one of these things that it seems like a labyrinth or a maze from the start to the finish. It's not real. It's a symbol. It's symbolic. Yeah. And it is a path through symbols to, kind of you see yourself and then you deconstruct yourself to see yourself more purely. And then there's a realization or an insight kind of experience.
And I always think of, religion as the physical aspect of the universe, but it's exploration of the esoteric really in the physical form, in my opinion. So, that's the beauty of alchemy, is being able to circle around to where, both all mind, body, and soul are interconnected, you know?
I like to look at writing as a type of alchemy with letters, because of constituent parts like that. And then we're building these structures, and the beauty or the aesthetic or the harshness or the hurt or whatever that comes out of that seems to be this kind of like creative byproduct of a structure that's built, that's, formulaic or whatever it is, it's a system. And then there can be in these structures just some kind of flowering, some kind of beauty. And that's like poetry, right?
Yes.
So both mine and Ryan's writing is very image heavy, and we love the symbol and we love poetic language. Oh yeah. So you're going to find a lot of atmosphere and a lot of, description. Yeah. A descriptive, even textual or sensual kind of description in our writing.
And be aware for all those that do decide to be awesome and help us out with looking through everything as beta readers and making comments about what you think might need to change and things like that. Keep in mind though, with what we're writing, sometimes we might play around with syntax, right, just to change pacing of the way the things are said. Right. So a lot of times, a lot of people call out to me, well, the syntax isn't correct. I'm like, I'm aware. Right. It's a little bit for pacing purposes.
Ryan and I both also believe in complete creative license of the author. I'm not bending to any rules.
No.
I live by impulse, not from rules, sir.
Yeah. That's actually
SS. Happy Friday, man.
Hey, thanks,
Good
SS.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. He's a great follower.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the core people that really support the channel. But it's great to branch out too. And NaNoWriMo is a perfect place to do that. So speaking of the beta reading, we're still going to call for beta readers. I didn't get much of a feedback. Ryan just is going to put this out. His short story is in a stage of completion. It's really good. It's really cool. We're going to share some later. But if you're interested in getting the whole thing, I'll say it again at the end. And the link will be in the description box of my email. Okay, because it's on my about page, but you just hit me and we'll get you a link to the whole story and you can do it. And how many you want? We want to open it up to maybe 5 more people. Okay.
Well, no. A total of 5.
A total of 5.
So right now we've got 4.
We've got 4.
And please, if any of the 4 are watching this, if anything's come up to where you can't dedicate time to
just let us know. We want to do it right, and we're gonna be fair about it. But it's gonna be coming out soon. Yeah. Right. So it's not like you can't get into it, but we just want the feedback. Ryan wants the feedback is what it comes down to. Okay.
Well, so just technically also, and I think this is the same for you, where for both of us, this is our first experience actually sharing what we've written with an audience.
Bro, you're not gonna believe the next comment that John Saxon said. Thank you very much, brother. This is a perfect segue into exactly I want to just talk about writing in general, and we're going to focus on Ryan because I want him to share his first little piece he wants. But John Saxton says, can I please ask what you wrote, as I'm battling with my mental health and need something new to read by a new author? Give me something new, because I want you feel new. I like reading new stuff sometimes, going for something that was just published or whatever. It makes you feel like you're in on something that maybe few are in on, right? Something like this, and you're in on the ground floor, and your thoughts and whatever.
You're part of the energy of it, so you're part of the creation at the end of the day. Now, going back to John though, with what you stated, we're going to go further in a little bit, but I do want to warn a little bit, especially when you're going through mental health struggles. Just some backstory. For this story that I wrote, I realized as someone who struggled with suicidal ideations that trying to communicate that to people that have never experienced that kind of thing, it's very difficult, especially when someone's going through turmoil. So that being said, I did not write it for people going through mental health battles. Not this yet. I will be making a lot of material like that, but if I'm being honest, I feel it's very heavy, especially if you are having ideations yourself currently. Now, if you feel fine, hey, nobody's your own, but yourself, as far as figuring out what's good for you and not. All I'm going to say to you is, regardless, I'm here to try to just give my outlook. And please, nothing that I write, don't let that take you into an area of darkness. That's not the point of this. The point is really to dig down deep. Right. And I'll be talking a little bit about that more.
Let's do it. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to frame it. You open you got the preface. Okay. Ryan is talking pointedly to one there more so, but I want to say that when it comes down to it, his writing is a layer of storytelling and writing on top of his own inner path work. And is looking at it like that very pointedly. That's exactly what he wants to do, is to use his own inner path work to build a process, a story, and is going to happen. This is natural. That kind of process, that kind of storytelling, this is a natural thing, but with his own substance only. These symbols, this kind of thing, and his own experience and his own imagination. Right? The imagination is key, but we're using the inner self. So it's that kind of thing where it's not trying to say at all ever that it is the same as somebody else's path or a choice should be this or should be that for somebody else. It is him only,
Mhm.
right? That's the beauty of it, because you'll see somebody else go through those choices.
Hmm. Exactly. And I mean, I come from a place, and just actually segueing a little bit into what we've been talking about already. Like you said, this is part of my process. I'm still on my journey. Honestly, I'll probably be on my journey until the day I'm put in the ground.
Right.
But I mean, everything in the world is fluid. So, that being said, everything changes. Now, what
Right.
I want to put out there, though, is definitely with my writing, the goal is to take my readers on the journey with me. One of the people that I reference heavily is Carl Jung. And just for some backstory, I went through mental health struggles, of course. We've already established that. But it started probably about 12 years ago when I lost my mom. Now, that being said, it's one of those things. You're looking at the explosion, then you have to find the breadcrumbs of what led to that explosion. And that's the path I've been on, and realizing the things that have affected me the most. Pull me out of my shell, pull me out of my insecurities. And with my writing, what I'm about to share is really, this is all my insecurities being thrown out there and saying, please look at me. This is what it looks like.
Being honest and truthful about it, but in that like growth of coming back around to something in that like kind of spiral way, now you can approach it from a different vantage point and write from it.
Yeah.
And give something. And it's not just I did this, I did that, or this is what I thought, this is whatever. It's a creative pursuit built on top of something that is totally human.
Well, and
Our struggle, humanity's struggle.
The character, I mean, like any writer, of course my character does include a lot of me. However, he's extremely different. His path is very different. His struggles are very
right,
different.
but not just one character, but
Sure.
it might be all the characters, right?
Sure.
The creative license that we institute over here is complete and full creativity. No, there's no walls. There's
right,
no
Jolly
boundaries.
Green Giant.
There's
you
no boundaries. Okay, let's finish up the comments, then you read it. Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll get the preface. It's a good framing for Ryan's kind of stuff. SS says, funny how editing, no matter what, is horrible.
Yeah.
I'm currently stuck in editing hell of my novel, but I just finished editing my thesis, and it was also hell. While writing the first draft, I had a blast. Writing the first draft is a blast. Me and Ryan talk a lot how we get into that mode, and then you're just like letting the story kind of pour through you, through following a character's actions through whatever situation you've put them in.
Yeah.
And when that kind of thing is really on, it's beautiful and it's a blast to do. And that's kind of the thing that drives storytelling, I think.
Well, and I really want to point to that, though, SS, with what you just said. I almost called it the essay, being Mexican or somewhat Mexican over here. And SS.
Look, it's like Norwegian or something. Look at this Icelandic.
Oh, gotcha.
What a ironic. Yeah.
No, hey. No, I mean, what I do want to say to that, though, is I used to be like that, where editing was the slog. It was just that period I was not looking forward to.
Right.
I started to really kind of get into, I'm releasing my stuff about a month ago. And then it culminated last week where I was like, I'm taking a trip down to Savannah, spending 3 days, and all I'm going to do is work on writing.
The pictures were beautiful, y'all. He had it made. I mean, and we've come through a lot of realization in that little time there.
Well, and I'm going to make this a yearly thing that I do. It's going to be a tradition for my passion. And so, but what I started to realize as I was rewriting stuff, it's fun. It gets fun where you're sussing out more things, when you're realizing stuff about your character that you weren't allowed to know up front. It's almost like a relationship
I love
with your character.
That part of the rewrite is one of my most loved things about writing. When you see a deeper level of the character you've already told the story of. Well, and you're like, wait, there's a deeper story.
Yeah, and I used to hear writers all the time say, oh, I love editing. It's like writing a whole new book. And I used to go, F you,
Yeah.
just because I was like, I'm not like that. But now I'm starting to come around and realize it.
So SS is asking, how long is your short story and how long would it take to read it as a beta?
Well, it's 41 pages, but really, I mean, I've timed it as far as, because I'm going to be
It's more like 27, 28
well,
with the formatting.
I will be reading it as far as I'm going to be making an audio version of it once I release it. And it takes an hour to read out loud.
1 hour. And that's out loud reading. You know, you read faster in your head. So maybe 45 minutes of a reading for his short story.
Yes.
It's worth it. But I understand that it's NaNoWriMo. This is writing time, and people are not devoting time to reading. So don't feel bad because Falcon said he didn't want to shortchange us with his time. He doesn't have time to beta read for us. Don't feel bad because look, we're writing. Everybody's writing. If you're writing, do that. Yeah. Do your project. Do your passion.
No, we're also preferential to honesty here. Especially that's what I said at the beginning. Thank you so much for being honest with your time.
Yeah. Very cool. John Saxon says he's looking forward to reading your book. And there's Leah from Pen to Paper. Happy Friday. Thanks for coming by. Leah's an author and a booktuber and an author tuber. Does all that kind of content and will be present on a future Friday Live, just like my boy Ryan here. Let's do it, Ryan. I'm caught up. I'm caught up on the comments. Everybody's ready. Give us your preface, and then we will then we'll just talk about it a bit.
Now beware, I am from theater, so there's probably going to be a little bit of theatrical
He's going to
overtone.
deliver this, if you know what I mean. My boy Ryan is very capable. Let's do it.
All right, so the name of the story is From the Top of the Stairs. Preface. Relentless readers, to borrow slightly from one of my idols, I thank you for taking time out of the chaos of life to drift a spell with me. I cannot promise the journey will be fun, nor that when we leave, we will be happy with our protagonist's journey. I do not go into these things with a destination in mind because that is a fool's errand. I just lasso an idea and see where it takes me. That being said, the story ahead certainly isn't happy. It is a tale to chill and a reality to withhold, but venture we must. Sometimes in demons we can find what's beyond an angel's knowledge. Beware, reader. Ahead lies our hero. He, like the rest of us, is flawed, deeply. We can point fingers, but the burden is his. Not mom, not dad. He was just unfortunate to live in a time where material takes a front seat to substance. I must confess, I lead many of you into the dark. For travelers averse to concepts of mental health from a novice's mind, then this might be best held upon your shelf for a more introspective time in your life. Regardless, if you carry yourself forward while undergoing ideations of shuffling your mortal coil, then I must advise against looking inside. In these pages is a villain that has slain many. It continues to do so with wild abandon. Sometimes the world closes in on us. Mental illness can make it seem as though we are claustrophobic in the open. If that is you, you share my pain. However, I wrote this most for people that can't themselves say they have occupied the same stoop. It is always a concept I find hard to communicate in turmoil. For those that have been there, you know many of the themes herein. People know, please know, as a writer, I do not enter this realm with you lightly. I plead, see beyond the contents on the page. See beyond mere happenings and gleam on the implications contained. Because in the end, my goal may not seem apparent. However, that is the quandary. I don't write stories. They write me. Stories only go where my characters allow me to take them. Sometimes for that, I am sorry. I wish I could only paint happy pastures of fleeting moments of ponies eating hay and chickens pecking innocently at grain. But it isn't within fleeting we may strain. Recognize I find every soul special that takes in my material. However, I am not free of prejudice, just like you. Also, I do my best not to allow that to cloud my perception of events I see in my mind. My aim is never to offend, but if with a hit I strike, know I always meant for your parry. If you seek to fleck my character, then I behoove you. I am but a humble spinster of words, and I mean only to enrich, not enrage. Now, any more of this frivolity is redundant and fucking lame. So, without further ado, take part in my insecurities, manufacturing beasts and crawling things that strike. With all your faculties, hold dear. You are more special than you know. We are all born with potential. Potential to be a flame amidst a world that seems to be reckoned for flood. I say in a poem I once wrote, it isn't in me to be wiser than we. It is with gratitude I leave you with Clayton here. Go easy on him. Like us all, he is doing the best he can.
Nice. Okay, so there's the preface. And man, I love it. I want to start off just by saying first, thank you for sharing. Right?
Yeah,
thank you very much for sharing, everybody, you know.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely did. I enjoyed it anytime I've read it. And I do want to start it off just by saying a kind of big picture style that you wrote this and are not afraid to make your author's voice there, first person, right? And just very, it's you, but it's not you, right?
Sure.
You're aware of yourself as witness to your life.
Well, something
and aware of a greater truth that is that you might speak on, right?
Yes.
And so there's layers to this thing, even in this preface and how you do it, and that kind of stuff is ripe for exploration in the kind of thing that you do.
Now, I do want to go back because we did allude to this earlier about the AC Lopez part. Like we said, I'm still going through my mental health issues, myself. I'm a lot better than I was, but, of course, still on my journey. Back when I was getting treatment, this was probably about 5 years ago in Portland, Oregon, I had this one therapist that I kept telling her about the things that keep on, bugging me and just kind of sticking at me, these insecurities, these just these notions that I have. And she looked at me and she goes, have you ever considered integrating your shadow? And I was like, well, please, tell me what that means. And
so that Jungian,
exactly.
A lot of that Jungian experience in your life, coming in contact with it at least. And then so when you see that, when you start seeing that part of you, there is a part of you like that.
Sure.
It's very interesting and something you have to get somewhere with before you can even approach it. And the fact that you're got to a point with it, then that you're able and wanting to share that and continue the growth in a more seen way. It's awesome, bro, and takes a lot of courage. Thank you, man. And there's a value to this kind of writing in that.
Yeah,
I love it.
I felt very passionate about the fact that I've been through a lot of things. I know a lot of people are going through the same things, but so very different. If anybody ever tells you, I know what you're going through, it's one of the most insanely just like, no, you don't. It's right. Like, you can understand aspects of what I'm going through, but the journey is mine.
Right. It's all personal there. So John Saxon says, Ryan, 5 stars from a man that's been battling with mental health issues for over 30 years. Thank you. It is my life to a T. So, taking that perspective and not being scared of internal work, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. What you've gone through to get to the point that you can share a story and write a story from it, it's not easy.
Well, and if
you wouldn't wish it on someone.
No.
You know what I mean?
This I say that all the time. Where
you're not alone, John.
No,
Brian's not alone.
We're all a community, and that's the biggest thing about going through struggles with mental health is realizing you're part of a whole. You're not just you. You're not some solipsist blob just sitting around going, I'm receiving stimuli. No.
Right.
We're all in this together.
Right.
The universe is a breathing, living thing.
Right.
And
I love it. That consciousness is vital, primal. Mm-hmm. There you go. SS says, hearing the preface convinced me to read it as a better beta reader. Bring it on. Send me the email, brother. Send me the email. You'll get it. Tool taught me about the shadow. Sometimes it shed its skin. 46 and 2. Am I right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, hey, man, you're speaking our language.
That's right.
Magoo there as well. Very much.
All day.
Oh, yeah. That's our jam. That's our time. Cool. I mean, I guess with playing Hurt, it's kind of obvious in the first place.
Very cool. So, look, we got some claps. We're doing good. I want to, we don't have much. If I'm going to share mine, we don't have much. Do you want to share another piece?
What quick? I'll do is,
do you guys want to hear another from Ryan?
Yeah, do you?
Just look, hey, it's quiet.
I know.
I'm hearing crickets.
Oh my God. I just bared my soul here.
Just joking, y'all. Love you guys. All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a page from part 1 and then part 2. Now it's a 3-part story.
Nice.
I'm not going to go into the 3rd part because I believe it would reveal way too much.
It's amazing. Okay, but yeah, I think that's a great idea. We were kind of kicking around and how to fit everything we want to do into 1 hour. It's impossible. We have too much, and this guy's busting at the seams. I'm telling you. So 1 page of part 1 and 1 page of part 2. Part 3 is for the beta readers for now, and then have at it, bro. Have at it.
Part 1, Suburbia, Dystopia. Time is a keyhole. We sometimes bend and peer through it. And the wind we feel on our cheeks when we do, the wind that blows through the keyhole, is the breath of all the living universe. Stephen King. With optimism, my parents moved to suburbia. I assume, at least. When life decides to reward the garden with life, it either inspires strife or resolve. In rare cases, those may bleed together into a perfect cyclone that breeds a rolling of the ethereal dice. Into danger? Into hope? You don't know until the dice have been cast, tumble, rest, and become indelible for the moment's inventory. But I have to believe my parents did what they did optimistically. Once in a while, that tumble will land on an American dream of mediocrity. I know. What the fuck? It is what exists in the place of the actual American dream. Middle class, the new upper, and you have to work 3 times as hard to get there. Actually, 4 times as much. Mom and dad, gone to keep a right temperature on their incubating egg. I am not that egg. Portfolios, stocks, and bonds. I'm just the little shit they blame it all on. I assume DNA donors, such as my corporeal elders, moved out to suburbia confidently. They must have assumed that smelling the roses and hearing birds make the encroaching winds of tomorrow stay their visit beyond their rotting on the vine. They don't know what they set in motion in a budding adolescent shithead's mind. Because we all are. Head in the shitter, soul in the gutter, empathy at the cleaners. As a child, you don't know shit because you haven't seen it. As an adult, you don't know shit because you refuse to see it. 2 months, That's how long the mystic scrim of it's all right now takes to fuck itself into oblivion. When promotion from utter fraternization with cockroaches to creme de la blah, it is believed that the little shithead will become a little prince. Not so.
Part one, you can tell my boy Ryan here is not afraid to just tell you like it is. When it comes down to the middle class, upper middle class, or just middle class suburban life where we live, both of us draw heavily on our own personal experience.
Yes.
Right? And because we are who we are, and we're not afraid to show who we are, because that's the substance that we talk about, that we start from. And killer. All right, show us part two.
All right. And just to let you know, because I don't think it was apparent, and I didn't say it in here, the character's name is CJ Felding. So
teeny tiny over here, my member, by the way.
Yes.
And did you remember that, guys? I have a member.
Writing sprinter.
You could be a member. Teeny tiny says, I think Noah and Ryan are both princes. Maybe it's my bias. I may be biased. Prince Noah and Prince Ryan.
Uh-oh.
You know what?
That's a lot to live up
to. Have you ever seen that movie Into the Woods?
Oh, yeah.
Where the two princes are singing their song. It's so absurd. It's so funny. Yeah. Tragedy, and they're like, acting all melodramatic. It's so good to see those two actors do that and totally, parody themselves.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. No, it's almost like
Teeny Tiny's my mom.
Oh, nice. I should have realized that off
Ryan. I knew that Ryan didn't know.
Oh my God.
Ryan,
thank you.
Honestly, is a friend of the family and a friend of mine since high school. So
we met each other in keyboarding class freshman year, and what happened was, I remember the teacher, Miss Whitten.
Yeah.
She was picking on Noah. It was basically, you're always going to be a loser, basically, kind of thing. You're this, you're that. And I was like, I went to her, I stood up and I go, don't talk to him like that. You don't know him like that.
Right.
I never talked to the guy a day in my life.
But he stood up for him.
Yeah. And then after class, we just started talking, everything else is history.
Best friends.
Best.
He was over at my freaking house then, and we were chilling and hanging. I love your family. You love mine. There's a lot of history there. So, now's the perfect time. I just want to insert it. It's not a big deal. It's just the thing that Ryan and I do have this kind of history, right? There is so much that informs how me and you deal with each other, and it's more than I could ever explain to anybody. Ryan and I had to come through to a realization separately, but at the same time, while he's doing his thing out on Tybee Island, and we're trying to, talk and still do our writing project and stuff like this, and, just how things were working out. And when we connected again afterwards, we both were still in the same spot, even though we had both changed our minds. That kind of thing is validation. Okay? That doesn't happen unless you are meant to, you're where you're supposed to be. We were able to make a decision to dissolve the kind of writing project of me taking part in him doing this epic sci-fi for now. Ryan knows, and why it was a thing in the first place is because we talk about things and expand on them, and we flesh out things together. And it's gonna require that to do this big project, but we're in no way ready for that.
We need to understand our style a little bit more. I think up front we're very selfish with our material. It's like it can't change. It has to be this way. And until you actually remove yourself enough from the process to be able to work with someone else, it's not going to be healthy yet.
So we're still going to share. We're still reading each other's stuff. We're going to do everything that we've been doing. No worries. But we're not about trying to work together on a project. We're allowing each other all the space and freedom that we need to work on our own stuff. And it's all about encouragement.
However, what we are planning to do is at some point, we're going to collect our works. Both he and I are going to go through each other's and pick out a story or two that best we feel represents our last year of writing. We will put that into, I'll go ahead and release the title,
Sure.
into a collection called The Brothers Dreary.
Okay.
I'm sure a bunch of you get that reference. But either way, and what we would like to do at some point is especially involve the community. If you like the stories, we'll start releasing them before we put out the collection. And then you can put in artwork. You can put in anything that you feel represents what we're writing. And then what we want to do is release anthologies with the collected artwork from the community.
So basically from that, you can take that. You are free to submit and share any kind of artwork, kind of things that you would like or might be inspired by the kind of things that we share, Ryan shares, or I share in our writing. Email it to me in the email that's in my about page, and we'll keep it. Only share with me something that you are okay with me using however I see fit in a book, as a cover, as a art for a chapter or art for a short story, whatever. You have to share with me only what you see fit for me to share, because I'm not going to, go through worrying about necessarily calling out where it came from, unless you have, we have to have that pinned down.
And these will be limited.
We're opening it. It's very, very informal.
Sure.
Right. And
it will be sussed out more as we go through the process. Not to mention, I really want to throw that out there, that it's also going to be, once we do decide to release these things, they will be limited releases, and we will guarantee, especially the members that contribute, copies.
Right. Okay. So let's 3 comments, and then we'll jump into your part 2.
Yeah.
I like it. I had a colloquialism like King's writing, but with a more literary style of diction. Nice stuff. Also,
nice.
Tyler rocks. He's a Cormac McCarthy fan. Loves some Cormac McCarthy for sure. For sure. Ryan, I'm crying because I'm the shithead of my family. Hey, we all been there.
Yeah.
And you're never stuck the way that you are. Changes the name of the game here. Okay? Changes the name of the game, and it changes hard sometimes. Sometimes you do feel stuck.
Yeah.
But I promise you're not stuck. I promise.
And also, man, I mean, I don't know what your situation is. I can't ever. But, I know in my family, I always considered myself the black sheep. Now, just to say, though, I mean, I know my family loves me greatly. I don't know if that's the situation that you're living in or not. But regardless, within recovery or within being who you are, I think the most important thing is being comfortable with yourself. People in your life can't accept that. The boundaries that you set by being who you are, then sometimes it's more healthy for you to distance a little bit. I'm not saying cut out, but, more than anything, I think everything's a journey. Just form yourself.
Right.
Be confident in who you are. That's the best thing that I say for myself. Now, as far as you, I don't know what your situation is, but either way, keep chugging.
Yeah, you have to try. I'm sorry, but you have to, it takes effort.
Oh yeah.
So any little effort is going to be worth it. Valued.
Yeah.
Valued. So give value to every little thing that you can do. And that you do.
Sure.
Value that stuff. And if you don't, and things that you don't do that you maybe chastise yourself for not doing, give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. We're all growing.
Something I always say for myself, and I say this for people as well, take it easy on yourself, because in this world, you're the only one who will.
Right. Right. Exactly right. Man, see, and Ryan's writing there's all these kind of little pointed things. I love it, brother. Share part 2. Right. I want to say hey to Quentin, my boy Quentin. Idjit Reads and Rambles is in the house, a longtime supporter of the channel. He's a writer. He shared with me some awesome poetry that he's wrote. I'm not at liberty to share it because I don't know how my boy thinks about that, but I feel very honored that I was gifted with that.
I'm curious.
To share that.
Is the Idjit thing a supernatural reference?
I think
potentially.
I think the Idjit is more like retard.
No. I'm aware, but there's a character in a show called Supernatural named
Maybe
Bobby that says "idjit" all the time.
Nice. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. I don't know. There he goes. See, he's throwing me the heart. Thank you, Quentin. You're the man.
Nice.
Yep. Stop it. Come on. Hey, I'll keep on, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping.
Yeah, we'll pile on the one.
All right.
You'll get on
part 2. Let's get one. Now this is part 2 is a change of pace.
Yes.
Let's just say it's a change of pace. Give it to us, Ryan.
Part 2. House calls. Once upon a midnight dreary. Okay. Sorry. No, I got you. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, nothing more. Edgar Allan Poe. I pedaled feverishly. My bike teetered on the brink of toppling. I was sweating. I was the perfect pitch of ghost in my ivory resonance. I huffed and puffed and was detached from the reality that the shrooms had taken hold minutes ago, or untold rapids ago. I barely realized I was pedaling as fast as I was. The eerie nature of the suburbs is stapled in the ticky-tack of each home, as though clones or spawns of each other. However, in each burg there stands a home, more aptly a domicile, hermetic in its containment, yet oozing from infected pores. They are the homes dripping with lore, but none of which any can decide. The young kids on the block are regaled with the threats of claws, teeth, and bottomless throats that never grasp secession. The youths look to the place as a rite of passage, to balk at derisive taunting and ultimately enter the hollows at which, on our side of the fold, there is no specter. On our side of it, at least. The boomers sit in quiet contemplation of what they know and have seen within the depths of the house and what it represents. Decay. It is a word to never utter and a notion to never contain. In its very depths, it is evil. Sometimes others scoff, but it is usually hushed as not to slight the fates too openly. There are, however, the times, the in-between moments that we can find ourselves in a fold, or so I would soon discover. A fold, meaning a pocket in time that sits on a line that blurs between life and beyond. It is here that our unicorns gallop, yet our phantoms entomb. And depending on the mood going into this particular trip, there's no buckling up for what we might perceive.
Nice. Very good. Thank you for sharing, Ryan.
Thanks.
I mean, it takes a lot. I tell you. So there you see another aspect where my boy Ryan is not afraid to take it into the supernatural, and we're going to have this kind of expanded experience, inner and outer together. This kind of something extra than our normal perceptible, what you would perceive as normal perception. Something extra, actually having a say over the character's experience.
Now, what the last thing I want.
What y'all think about that? By the way, give it to him. Don't play.
Well, before I do want to let you know the backstory, and this is the last thing I'll say going into this on the story. What I meant to do when I started writing it, is to write a personification of suicide in a way, and so that is what the story represents to me.
Okay, so there's your warning, and also look, Ryan, we got bots.
Uh-oh.
I've made it.
You've made it.
I freaking made it.
Yeah.
User. Do I put user in timeout? Hey. 69 girls XYZ. I'm putting you in time.
Oh yeah, you're going away.
You're going in time.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's right. I blocked you. I didn't mean to. I mean, hey,
You meant to.
I was gonna time out because it sounded
Yeah.
like fun,
Why
but
not?
I blocked it. John Saxton says brilliant and amazing and fantastic. I love it, bro. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
John, it's on.
Yeah, man.
Noah, your channel is big enough to get Russian sex bots. I can get Russian sex bots now, Ryan.
Is that Magoo that said that? No.
No,
No.
SS.
I'm
SS is my
surprised.
boy.
We
Look at this. Hey, if everybody that's on, if you haven't given a thumbs up to the live here, I don't know what you're doing
Yeah.
right
Come
now.
on.
At least
What are
give a
your
thumbs up. If
priorities
not,
in
get on the comments and say a bunch of random stuff.
Oh, definitely random.
Why not that?
We love random.
Why is that not happening?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, for every random comment in my comments, I'll respond with a random comment tomorrow. How about that? We'll just see how it goes.
There we go.
Pile random on top of random. Magoo says, dude, you're not certified now. Congrats.
I think he meant you're now certified.
You're now
you're not.
You're bot certified. I'm bot certified now. That's exactly right, bro.
Yes.
That's why I say I've made it here. John Saxton says, been there about 5 times, and I love it. Cool. Very cool. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah.
Leah at Pen to Paper says, so glad I made it for these reads. Cool. Very cool. So
we're so glad you're
look, it's 56 minutes in. I usually go for 1 hour. I'm going to push it a little far tonight because I have something special for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to share what I've been writing. Okay, my short story. Not that it's any better than what Ryan's been sharing, but I'm saying I'm going to share it, and it takes a lot for me to share, just like anybody.
You got
I am afflicted with the whole writer thing. No matter what, I write it, even I read it, and I'm happy with it, and I'm like, but nobody's going to like it. You know, nobody wants to read this. There's so many words out there. Nobody. Why? So, it's just something that I personally still, I just kind of have. So, with seeing your courage, you've inspired me, bro. Thank you so much. It's happening tonight.
There we go.
And so, here we go.
Let it rip, man.
Okay, here we go. Look, Tyler says, I like very good grasp of language, for sure. And Teeny Tiny, my member, says, Ryan, thanks so much for sharing. I love it. So they're digging it. They're drinking the Kool-Aid, bro.
Oh,
okay.
There's no Jim Jones over here.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid.
No Jones Kool-Aid.
Tell you what, I got a big spoon and an even bigger pitcher. I'm mixing up more Kool-Aid. Let's do this. Let's run it. Okay. So my short story is, you might find some affinity to some of the aspects of Ryan's writing, because like I say, we come from a suburban middle class background growing up, and I drew upon that for the setting of my short story. And what we have, I'm just going to give you guys the opening. What we have is just a scene. Okay, we have the boy, our main character, sitting on his back porch.
Oh, we've got somebody
who's saying,
just shut up and read.
Yeah. The nerdy narrative. That's Leslie. Get the comments and read already, Noah. There you go. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. But honestly, here we go. A flat, soft breeze hissed through the grasses. Kyle sits on his back porch, chest heaving, contemplating birds. Fragile, elusive, and forever young and free. Any tree a home, any like feather a brother. The birds rode this breeze like any other. At 15, he felt he had little idea what freedom was. Same was too tame a word for what he knew. The ring of struggling grass and the tall fence wood seemed somehow new. Remembrance and novel? Used to be one plank missing was enough for him to sprint and leap between unscraped. Some mini hero swooping in. A light, hollow-boned swallow racing through oak branches, hissing. He couldn't whistle then. The whistle tweets from branches and the ringing from inside, both now some ways off in Kyle's mind, running this track. A year ago, he busted the bottom of the plank beside, got his final body splinter from squeezing, surely. How long between the two memories? Uncertain. The novelty was the recognition things had been different, then they were different, and now they are different. Kyle meditated the askew plank, and it started to change. Not a true change, but movement enough to pull him fully conscious. A face beaming and cherubic ducked through. Bro, huffing. I thought you was going in today. She doing better and shit, yeah? Heavy steps pressing soft, warm blades. A chair, his chair, beside Kyle, rattled like keys as he sat. So, watching the sky change, slowly sucking a warm breath, Kyle filled his lungs. An almost voiceless nothing was all the reply necessary. Ty knew everything. And with a fierce inner flash, no. Popped the cigarette up a high arc and placed one in his own dry lips before Ty. She rested. All right, Ty said. He was satisfied. He watched a crumpled cigarette pack lob onto the yellow ground and coughed a suppressed inner bark. Was his job to make Kyle smile. It was his job to make Kyle smile today. It had been his goal for the last week, every day. The way was smoky. A surprise joke calls for quick wit, and most folk, including Kyle, called him a dumbass. There's being a good friend, though. How long has he watched his mother decline? Uncertain. So, so there's the opening for my short story.
Man,
Ryan had not heard that before.
no, okay, I've heard.
He heard a version. He heard
draft.
the first version, or he heard the rewrite.
The Southern Gothic influence in that is so strong. I love it.
Right, and when the symbols, the bird and the wood,
Mm-hmm.
when those symbols came up in my writing, I was like, yes, this is where it kind of feels at home.
Mm-hmm.
The harshness of the wood, and then this bird fleeting and being able to, being very capable in that situation, even though very close to danger.
Because it finds home in that struggle.
Right, something like that, and so it just felt right. So I went with it, and really, I'm just sitting with this character. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting with this character in his place, and we don't know what that is yet. I know. You don't know. You don't know, but I know. And,
I think you gotta see what people say.
Okay,
here.
okay. What do we say? Emily loves it. Nice. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Agree, Ryan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Fire, pure fire. Thank you, Nick. Nick Borrow is a wonderful author. He wrote a book called Conversational Therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Got it in the back room there. I'm still working on it. I'm still reading it.
Mm-hmm.
But once I have it completely finished, I think I want to do some content with that because it's really good. We're gonna talk about it. I love to get authors' perspective on their own writing. Right?
Oh sure.
Nice opening for a short story. Thank you, SS. Thank you, SS. When it comes down to it, atmosphere, baby. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say we're gonna. Thank you, Tyler. Riveting description pulled me right in. Thank you, Leah. I appreciate you. There's being a good friend, though. That's right. And we all kind of feel that, right? And learn and loves that little quip. That kind of thing. There's being a good friend, though, as a justification for why you just do something that maybe you can't even wrap your head around the whole entirety of it. You just know that it's a good thing to do, so you do it. That's just what kind of popped into my mind, and kind of where I feel like you have to operate. Even if you don't have the knowledge, you don't have to have all the facts, but you know that something is right, to do.
And John, to take you back to a comment you made earlier about, the editing, previously when you read me the beginning, it started very abrupt. There was not a lead in. And this, when I heard this, I was like, you got it. It's like you have figured out the complexity of the scene,
Right.
and that's the beauty of rewrite.
Right.
It gets you to the area where you're like, okay, the idea is there now.
Right.
I think I said on the,
I mean, like Hills Like White Elephants,
Yeah.
right? Oh my God, what a powerhouse! Stripped down to stripped naked story. Oh,
I think a reference I made on in the writer's sprint is the way that, you know, I at least tackle is usually it's like a slab of granite and then I just start whittling.
Yeah.
And, you know, to make the shape. And that's exactly what you did there, where it's like, you know, you took yourself back to that place and then found the beauty that you were missing. And not to say that it wasn't already beautiful. It had so much already in there, but you were able to suss out the shading, the just, you know, from an artist standpoint.
Well, and I said a friend of mine, and I'll call him out, it's Jack at Rambling Raconteur. He's hilarious. Me and him talk all the time. And he, you know, was giving me some crap, a little kick, because we always are joking, and we're always, you know, joking about accounts and booktube and reading books and all that. And he goes, so is Kyle here? You know, I shared a picture on Instagram. He goes, is Kyle here going into stream of consciousness as exiting the birth canal while he's exiting the birth canal? Right?
Yeah.
You know, like I would do something as absurd as like, you know, do some stream of consciousness writing from the fetus standpoint, you know, something. Why not? Right. But it was just a joke, like that kind of thing. And I'm like, no, but what I do have here is a omniscient, intimate omniscient. That's what I'm doing. Is like it's an omniscient narrator that is able to get very intimate with the character, something like Virginia Woolf, but without the perfect present. I'm not writing in perfect present. I like to leave it fluid with how the character might reference something as how he had been, or how he will be, or how he is, or something like that in his thoughts, to add a little nuance to where he might be in his mind. So I'm going to keep those kind of, that verbiage, these kind of things available for me, but the author's voice is right where, anywhere I want it to be. I can put it right up against a character's thoughts without being locked in the thoughts, something like that.
Nice. Well, we went on for a while tonight.
Yes.
Would we want to leave them potentially with you know, shout out of wish you were here?
Let's do it. We'll finish with comments. John Saxon says, amazing, love it, fantastic work. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. Allison McFarland says, I think you're both amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Allison.
all.
You're the best.
Yeah, and thank you, Allie.
And John, you've been great, man. Thank you for contributing so much to the conversation.
Thanks, John. A lot.
It was good, but I recommend Ryan to read instead. His theatrical tendencies make it easier to follow a read out loud story. Am I right? I love Ryan's delivery.
Thank you.
It's great. That's SS, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Nick Burrow says, appreciate you, brother. This is inspiring me to sit down and write something tomorrow.
There you go. That's what we're here for.
Exactly our goal.
Yes.
That's exactly our whole thing.
We're driving each other here. You know, the support of the community. So,
but I know it's your stories. SS follows up with the, you should read it with, but I know it's your story, so kind of feel you need to read it. So yeah. You know, hearing something in the author's voice is what it's all about. And I could deliver it better. There's things when I say it or how I delivered it, where I'm like, that's not exactly how I hear it or something, right? But I can only get better.
You will.
I will.
I mean, dude, I
have to go. Lots of love. Leah, happy Friday. Thanks. And lots of love. Thank you for coming by. We're about to wrap up here. All good. Dylan Reeds finally got here for a Friday. So good, Dylan. Thanks you for coming by, bro. I had to stay on for the whole reading. I really liked it. Noah, good shit. Random note. Didn't feel forever young. Fit with the flow of the bird's description. I appreciate that. The reason I felt like forever young, what I'm calling to with that right there, is that birds are always fast. They're always full of energy. Young is full of vitality. Old is lacking vitality. Birds never lack vitality. So Forever Young, but Forever Young itself, those two words have connotation already. It's been used many, many times. So maybe even just a cliche that needs to be rooted out for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
These are
Dylan.
the kind of notes we want.
Right. Thank you very much, Dylan, for the feedback. The rhythm balance of my prose is really good. Thank you, Dylan. But keep on reading out loud to tune up some of the parts that break the flow of a section, or to real intentionally insert hard reversals of rhythm rhyme. Cool. I'm not. I'm about releasing some audio for stuff if that's in the cards, sure. But when I'm done with this story, it's going to be available for you guys. I'll just send you a PDF or something, right?
There you go.
So I don't care. As soon as I'm done with this thing, I'm gonna have a live that week, or I'm gonna do a dedicated video and I'll drop it for you guys. So we're gonna have some readers. I'm gonna get some feedback, whether you like it or not.
There you go.
And then Dylan says, super excited to see more of your stuff as you continue to develop the story. So the story is developed. That's what's funny about my writing. Okay. I write and I get plot. I do the whole plot. For my novel and for my short story, I did this. I have the whole plot. But then in my rewrites and my writing, I'm doing what you're seeing. I'm stripping away this onion layer and I'm getting to the character.
Yes.
So it's plot. The plot I get happy with, and I'm like, good. And then I'm character focused is what it comes down to, because I'm so interested in humanity and our growth and change and where people get stuck and all that kind of stuff. I'm so interested in the human condition that characters end up being where I like kind of hone in on with what the writing is about.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to be the same way. And I think, I mean, characters have always been a big thing. I mean, as far as like, it's why I love Stephen King so much. It's like, you know, your love for the characters and the peril they find themselves in is the hook. Same thing as like shows with Lost and things like that. It's all narrative driven by the characters.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I mean, a testament to it again also is Stephen King. What a strong character driven writer, but the plot and the setting just kind of serve as the, you know, the environment for us to see these characters flower or go through struggle or whatever it is that King does to them. And you know, he'll paint himself into a corner and then have problems. I'm reminded of his story about writing The Stand on writing. You know, where he really painted himself into a corner, like, why are they doing this? What am I going to do here?
Yeah.
You know, and he goes for a walk and he has a realization, comes home and writes it out after leaving it in the drawer for like 6 months or something, right?
Well, my favorite, I think my favorite story from On Writing is always about Tabitha.
Right.
You know, just with how Carrie was just thrown into the trash. She's like, I'm done.
Wow. It's crazy to think about that.
Yeah.
Because it was adapted to a movie. John Travolta's in it.
Yeah.
You know, and remade into a movie. Julianne Moore is in it. Okay, like, I mean, it's an amazing story. It's cool as hell. And you got a strong young girl that just rips everything
before its time.
Before its time.
I mean, I mean, strong female lead. It's something that was not seen very much during that time.
And I mean, it pushes all kinds of boundaries.
Other than I Spit on Your Grave.
How about the opening scene to the original?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Epic. If you just want to watch the opening credits to Carrie.
But the most stylistic thing.
Yeah. Dead zone, baby. Dead zone. Okay. We'll ride you guys out with a song, because Ryan and I had been practicing playing. You want to do?
Sure.
Okay. We'll do just a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
Everybody loves some.
In Full Circle. We'll go ahead. Pink Floyd.
Yeah, everybody loves some Pink Floyd. We're gonna do Wish You Were Here.
Well, and to say full circle, actually, I originally learned this song from Noah's stepdad, Terry. So
That's right.
let's do this.
That's right. Let's go. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from gray? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel red? A smile from a veil. Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange the walk on fire in the wall for a lead role in a cage? Feel free to check the beginning of the live where we covered Hurt by Trent Reznor if you're interested in a little more guitar playing and singing. How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground of how we found the same old fears. I wish you were here. I ain't got it high like that, guys. Some David Gilmour, right? He did that. It sounds like it. Thank you very much, y'all. It's been awesome. A little long tonight. Hey, you get a little extra.
Yeah.
When Ryan's around, we all get extra. Later, brother. I love you.
Yeah, love you all.
Love you guys that always support me too. Catch you on the next one. Wednesday night for sure, a reading sprint. Some content coming through the week other than that as well. Catch you on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.